You're programmed to obey authority, even when it's wrong. From the moment you're born, you're taught that uniforms, badges, titles, and fancy suits automatically mean someone knows better than you. Questioning a teacher, disrespect. Questioning a police officer, dangerous. Questioning a doctor, arrogance. The truth, irrelevant. Obey the title, not the truth. Kneel to the suit, not the soul. Most people will follow orders they know are wrong, just because someone with a clipboard said so. You're taught to chase approval, not power. Good job, pat on the back, gold star. From kindergarten to adulthood, you're addicted to approval. Likes, hearts, followers, promotions. But approval is a leash. It keeps you begging for outside validation instead of building inner authority. Society doesn't want you powerful. It wants you polite, nice, harmless, play small, smile wide. School trains you to memorize, not think. You thought school was for learning? Nope, it's for remembering what you're told without questioning it. Recite, regurgitate, repeat. Creativity, killed. Curiosity, punished. Independent thinking, dangerous. Schools don't manufacture leaders. They mass-produce employees who know how to raise their hand for permission to use the bathroom. Media feeds you fear to keep you paralyzed. Turn on the news. What do you see? Crisis, disaster, threat, panic. Fear sells better than hope. A terrified population doesn't demand freedom. It begs for protection. And whoever provides the protection gets total control. Scared people don't fight back. They huddle in corners and wait for permission to breathe. Consumerism replaces identity with purchases. You are what you wear, what you drive, what you own. Brands aren't products anymore, they're personalities. Want to feel confident? Buy this. Want to feel sexy? Buy that. Your value isn't in your mind, your heart, your soul. It's stitched into your sneakers and printed on your phone case. Beauty standards are designed to keep you insecure. You will never be beautiful enough, not because it's true, but because there's profit in your insecurity. Every wrinkle, every curve, every flaw creates another market to exploit. A confident, self-loving population would destroy multi-billion-dollar industries overnight. Self-hate is big business. Self-love is a threat. Normal life is a cage, decorated to look like freedom. Get good grades, go to college, get a job, get married, buy a house, work 40 years, retire, die, freedom. Nope. It's a hamster wheel in a pretty cage. The dream life you were sold is a slow death with weekends off. Modern slavery doesn't use chains, it uses comfort. Relationships are weaponized to control emotions. True love gets twisted into ownership, guilt trips, emotional blackmail, control disguised as concern. Relationships become chains. If you love me, you'll do what I say. Society teaches dependence, not partnership. Love becomes less about freedom, more about possession, less about growth, more about control. Success is defined to keep you in debt forever. The house, the car, the degree, the wedding, all of it costing money you don't have for a lifestyle you're told you must achieve to matter. Success isn't about fulfillment, it's about debt. It's about being locked into a system that owns your time, your energy, and your dreams. Your anger is redirected into safe, powerless outlets. You're furious, but instead of questioning the puppet masters, you're trained to punch sideways. Left versus right, man versus woman, citizen versus citizen. Fight your neighbor, not your jailer. Rage becomes entertainment, not revolution. The system stays untouched while you bleed your anger into the void. You're flooded with endless distractions to block awakening. Scroll, swipe, binge, play. Noise, noise, noise. Every second is filled with something shiny to keep you numb. Constant stimulation prevents introspection. If you ever sat still long enough to think clearly, you might realize how deep the chains go, and they can't risk that. Language is weaponized to redefine reality. Words are magic spells. Whoever controls the definitions controls your thoughts. Terrorist, patriot, freedom, security. Labels are thrown around like grenades to shape what you see and what you fear. Change the word, change the world, silently, invisibly. Entertainment trains you to accept corruption as normal. In movies, the bad guys are charming, the villains are complex, the heroes are flawed. Over time, corruption stops shocking you. It becomes expected. Evil becomes stylish. Authority becomes sexy. You end up rooting for the tyrants without even noticing. Healthcare is monetized to profit off your sickness. If you're healthy, you're worthless to the system. If you're sick, you're a customer for life. Preventative care? Almost non-existent. Instead, endless pills, surgeries, treatments, treating symptoms without addressing causes, keeping you alive just enough to keep you paying. Laws are written to keep you dependent. Legal systems are mazes, not paths. You can't navigate them without expensive guides. Laws are written not for clarity, but for complexity. The more confused you are, the more you rely on experts to save you. The more you pay, the more you obey. History is edited to create obedient citizens. You're not taught history, you're taught his story, sanitized, simplified, hero worshipping, the ugly truth truths, the betrayals, the genocides, the lies, are erased or twisted into patriotic fairy tales. An ignorant citizen is an obedient citizen. A misinformed mind is a controlled mind. Your dreams are sold back to you as products. You dream of travel, they sell you overpriced flights. You dream of adventure, they sell you SUVs. You dream of love, they sell you dating apps. They dangle your own dreams in front of you like bait on a hook, charging you for the privilege of chasing them. Your time is taxed more than your wealth. The rich are taxed on paper, the poor are taxed on hours. You pay in sweat, you pay in stress. You pay in seconds of your life you can never get back. Meanwhile, those at the top move numbers around on spreadsheets and call it productivity. Spirituality is marketed into cheap therapy. True spirituality is dangerous. It wakes you up. So instead, you get watered-down wellness, motivational quotes, yoga pants, mindfulness apps, a spiritual awakening that never questions the system, just makes you more bearable while living inside it. Privacy is erased to make you predictable. Everything you click, watch, buy, and say is tracked. Not because they care, but because the more predictable you are, the easier you are to sell to, control, and manipulate. Privacy isn't about hiding bad behavior. It's about protecting your autonomy, and they know that. Freedom of speech is a managed illusion. You can say whatever you want as long as it's within the Overton window, as long as it doesn't actually threaten power structures. The loudest megaphones are reserved for the safest messages. Real dissent gets demonetized, shadow banned, or drowned out by louder distractions. Money is manufactured to keep you hungry. Inflation isn't an accident. It's the slow, silent theft of your purchasing power. No matter how much you work, prices rise faster. The finish line keeps moving. You're not failing. You're on a treadmill designed to never let you win. Rebellion is packaged into merchandise. Be different, they scream, while selling you the same black t-shirt everyone else is wearing. Your rebellion becomes another aesthetic to be monetized. True rebellion is changing the system. Fake rebellion is buying a slogan and thinking you're a threat. Hope is weaponized to prolong suffering. They promise change, they promise reform, they promise salvation, but nothing fundamentally changes. Hope is dangled just far enough to keep you walking and never far enough to let you arrive. A hopeful prisoner walks more obediently than a hopeless one. Final thought, you're not supposed to have. If you ever realized how deep the programming runs, you wouldn't just want a better life inside the system. You'd want to tear the system down and build something real from scratch. But hey, don't think about that. Go buy something instead.